And I think when you find something that you're passionate about and it inspires you, you've got this like flame now, and it helps you stay on track because you don't want to use anymore. Because a lot of times, me personally, I don't know about everyone else, but I use because I don't feel good enough. I feel shit. I feel like I'm never going to be okay. And all that pain, sometimes it's too painful, I have to go and have a drink or a drug to ease the pain.
Hi, welcome to Starve the Demon Recovery by Any Means Necessary. Today we have a special guest all the way from Australia, Daniel Cook from the Long Way Round Show. We're going to talk about that, his recovery journey, and the Long Way Foundation. Daniel, welcome to Starve the Demon. How are you?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Really pleasure and honor to be here. It's great to meet with you this morning and talk a little bit about what I'm doing and a little bit about what you're doing. So thank you very much for having me on the show.
Well, thank you for coming on. This is amazing. We're going global, you and I. See,
Let's
doing
go.
America, doing Australia. It's
To us.
fabulous. So, talk to me a little bit about your journey with addiction and recovery. What does that look like for you?
Yeah. Let's talk about it. So, look, I mean, at school, I couldn't read and write. I had dyslexia, ADHD, had no self-confidence, and I guess in year 10, I started wagging every day and smoking pot. And I guess that's,
What's wagging? What's wagging?
wagging is like, you leave to go to school, but then once you get to school, you're basically truancy. You know what I mean? You're
Skipping school. Okay,
skipping
gotcha.
school. Yep. Skipping school. So we would skip school every day and we would go and smoke pot. Quite quickly after that, we started taking amphetamines and like MDMA and different things like that. I guess from that point on, my addictions got quite severe quite quickly, you know what I mean? So every day was doctor shopping, breaking into houses, breaking into businesses, just using whatever I could get my hands on. So, you hear that it's a common phrase like, what was your drug of choice? Like, I mean, I did have certain times in my life where I'd been using a lot more ice or a lot more opiates, but really for a long time it was whatever I could get. I would sniff paint, petrol, glue, so a lot of opiates, dexamphetamine, Valium, Xanax, you name it. I was using it, and as much as I could. I'd eat whole bottles of Valium. Back then you could get like the Panadine 4. Sometimes you might not have the best drugs, but you would just get whatever you could get to sort of get high. You know what I mean? So a lot of doctor shopping, a lot of yeah. I know, yeah. Just running amok, while other kids were getting trades and apprenticeships and sort of moving forward with their life, I was sort of moving forward with my addiction. I couldn't stop to, hold down a job, and I couldn't stop to get a trade. And that sort of really, shaped what's been the rest of my life. It's been a hard journey, so I've continued on and I've worked really hard, and I've, through sort of from sort of 25 to 35, I sort of, slowly started getting some tickets and some training, and, I started getting some jobs.
What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean when you say getting tickets?
So getting tickets, so like in Australia, like in the mines and different things like that, you can go and get like a confined space ticket or a working at heights ticket or an EWP
to be
ticket.
able to do that job, like a license.
A license, yeah. So there's
Okay,
there's certain things where you can go and do a 3-day course and you get a ticket, and then you can go and get a job. So you can it's become like a skilled labourer. So a labourer might just have a white card, which means you can go on a building site, but then a skilled labourer, you might have a truck license, an EWP ticket, a forklift ticket, all these things. And then you're slowly building up your skill set so you can get better jobs. But it's a process, you know what I mean? So I remember one day I think I was like 27 and I was out of rehab, and I remember sort of crying to one of the facilitators, like not in a baby way, but just I was so broken, you know what I mean? I couldn't support my family. I didn't know how to hold down a job. I didn't know how to really do anything, and me and my wife were married, and we didn't have any kids at that time. I just felt so far behind other people in general because my addiction was really from an early age. And you know how there's different types of addicts, and I'm not trying to take away anything from anyone, but a lot of addicts, they might have started later in their life. So even though they had a really hard time, they might have a trade or a skill set or something they can still use.
Some kind of foundation.
Some sort of foundation, yeah. And I think there's difficulties to everyone's story. So a big challenge was, not having work and not being able to be employable. So that's, part of my foundation now. What I'm doing is the Long Way Foundation. So essentially I want to be able to help guys getting out of prison. Some guys, they might have been in and out all the way through juvenile prison, which is, juvie, like, probably 13 to 18. I'm not sure if there's the same lingo over there, but then
Yeah, we have juvie here. Yeah.
yeah, cool. And then if they from say 18 to 30 in and out, or it could be 40 or 50, whatever, and their whole life in prison and no real working skills. But not only that, like no one to believe in them. So my whole thing is I want to be able to help through my experiences and how I've gone from being unemployable and not really having much hope in that area, or getting training and skills, and then having businesses. Have had businesses over the years, be able to believe in and help coach and mentor. And I want to get other guys on board. I don't know where it'll grow, but the main inspiration is just believing in guys and telling them that you might have done a lot of jail and you might have be a little bit further behind, but let's do this. Let's work really hard and let's get you some skills, because there's a lot of help out there, like job network providers. But unless you know what to say and how to get the funding and different things like that, because when you get out of prison in Australia, I don't know even the right term, but 15 years ago when I was sort of going through the system, it was called a Stream 4. With that, gets extra funding. So they can pay for a truck license, a forklift ticket, a rigger's ticket, different training. But unless you know what to say, they try to hold on to the funds.
Sure.
And not only that, they treat you like you're a piece of crap. And I don't mean to put shade on those guys. It's probably, they're like police or nurses or anyone else. They're dealing with a lot of people every day. I guess after years of working with some of these people, you can become blunt and you can become cold. And that's just, I guess, part of it. But if I can help guide and mentor and show these guys, you want this ticket, this ticket, this ticket, blah, 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 and working with the network providers that know what we're doing. And yeah, it's going to be just a real process of linking up dots. It's not all about me. It's just me being able to link dots with other people. I was very lucky. My father, he's passed away now, but he would always believe in me. He would always say, you can do whatever you put your mind to. He would always encourage me. And I think through that has been some of the reasons why I've become successful later in life, because I kept trying and I kept going and he believed in me. And I think if you haven't got anyone to believe in you, it's a pretty cruel place out there. So I just want to try and spread a bit of love and help people if I can. That's my goal.
I love it. I too did some time because of that. I had a really hard time getting a good job when I got out of prison. I ended up being a waitress and was lucky to get that job, because if you have a felony in America on a job application, it'll say, have you ever had a felony? Ever? Yeah. Well, I have. Well, we're not going to hire you. Sometimes I would get lucky and it would say, have you had a felony within like the last 5 years? Well, I spent 8 years in prison. So I could say, no, I haven't had a felony in the last 5 years. It can be really, really hard if you don't have the right licensing, if you don't have the right education, if you don't know where the resources are, you don't know what path to take. I think it's brilliant that you use your own experience to realize that this is something that people need. We know if you grow up where, you don't maybe have that kind of structure in your life to guide you in the right direction, what do you do when you come out of prison? I don't know how the prisons are in Australia, but here, no matter what they tell you on the news, I'm telling you, they're more concerned about punishing you than rehabilitating you. And it can be very difficult. I love that you're doing this. When you decided that, like, I can't keep living like this, I can't keep doing the drugs, I can't keep going to jail, what paths of recovery have you tried? What worked for you? What didn't work for you? What are you doing now that's keeping you in that good place?
All sorts of different things. And yeah, it's been a real process. So my first rehab, I was 21 and that was a Christian rehab. I fell in love with the people there, and they were, apart from my parents, like the first people to sort of believe in me and really love in me and support me, encourage me. And I'm still sort of connected with them people now, nearly 20 years later. But then, you know what it's like, you celebrate leaving rehab with a shot or with a drink, and sort of what I did. The next few years, I was sort of in and out of rehabs. I don't know, but I've probably done maybe 10 rehabs or something. I can't really count. But one major rehab that I did, it was in WA, and it was a longer program. I was there for about 12 months, and actually, when I finished that program, that was when I started my first business. The guy that he ran it, he had a lot of trauma in his life, and he had been through like foster care and the system and all that sort of stuff, and a lot of prison. And he really believed in me, and he believed in all his guys. And he said, Dan, you could start a business if you wanted to. So my business was just a real simple thing. I just thought, what could I start with really not much skills and not much equipment or money? And so I just got like a ute and a wheelbarrow, and I was just going around raking up building sites. But sort of through that, I learned a lot of things. I kept learning, and different builders would teach me things, and I got guys working for me that would teach me things. And one of the guys, he used to have like a big demolition and concrete cutting company. So he started teaching me about concrete cutting. So we started getting bigger jobs and better jobs. And, we started quoting demolition jobs off the plan. And we were doing like, at the end, I had like about 6 guys working for me and 3 utes, which was pretty cool. And, we were doing a lot of bigger jobs, 20, 30 grand jobs. And
Wow.
yeah, it was cool. And when I left WA and my second daughter was born, all my family was in New South Wales, which is the other side of the country. I sold the business and moved over here. I actually had a mental breakdown. After that, I went back to prison, another rehab after that. And you know what it's like? I think our addictions go up and down and different levels of severity. But for a while there, I was just sort of smoking pot and a bit of drinking, and my addiction wasn't as crazy as what it was when I was younger. And I sort of needed a bit of help. I didn't really know where to turn. That was, I think, through COVID. I started doing like some NA meetings online, and that was the first time I've ever done any NA. I had been to a Salvation Army rehab where they did have NA, but most of the rehabs was more like underground Christian, all about God and the Bible, and you don't want to say you're an addict, and whether that's wrong or right or whatever, that was their theology. Anyway, I did a bit of NA for a few years, and that was really good. I had more relapses, and my relapses were getting less and less severe. I was growing up, I was getting more mature, I wanted to be there for my wife and girls, but I guess I wasn't quite 100% ready to stop completely. I just didn't have it in me at that stage. So I've done a lot of NA and a bit of AA, but now I do smart recovery. So I found that really good. I've found that there's a lot of great tools for the program, and I do a lot of journaling. I do a lot of reading, and I mean not full on reading, but I do daily journaling, daily readings, and things like that. And I pray every day, and just going for rides and spending time with my wife and girls, and just trying to do positive things. My own program is based around giving back, helping others, being there for my wife and girls. I've just recently cut ties with my mother as well, which has been another hurdle. All these different pain points in our life. We've got so much to overcome. Me personally, other people may have been able to do it, and good luck to them, but it's been a real journey of like overcoming one step at a time. It's been a process, and it's definitely been a lot of relapses in between, but we just keep going and we keep trying our best, and it's cool.
Well,
It's great.
for those people that don't know, can you talk about the basics of smart recovery and how does it help you?
Look, I'm not a smart recovery expert, so I'm not, but I'll tell you what I know. The main differences between sort of like the original 12 step is they're not as much emphasis on clean time and what you're doing, and so it is more about prevention or preventing relapses and things like that. So they've got a lot of tools on their website. So I think there's a money management tool, and there's like goal setting tools. There's like a facilitator instead of just like a round meeting, like your classical NA meetings or AA meetings. Some of the people there might not be willing or ready to go, I'm never going to drink again, or I'm never going to drug again. So they might say, all right, your 7-day plan is to, I'm going to have 2 beers on Saturday, and it might work for some people. I'm not saying it's right for everyone. Some people, they need complete abstinence. There's many different paths to Rome, I believe. Some of my really good friends are in it. It's about connection. It's about being a part of. I also go to church, and that's part of my recovery as well. I feel it's a real just holistic approach, and yeah, I'm no expert in this stuff, but I'm doing my best, and I'm living day by day. It's just keep moving forward. Just keep going, keep going. That's all I can say.
What I hear you say, and what I 1,000% agree with, no matter what program you're working,
Yeah.
and people, and it's action. You
Yep.
got to take action. You got to be doing something. You're either working for your recovery or you're working against it. It's like anything else in life. You're either working towards your marriage or you're working against it. You're working towards your career or you're working against it. And I know for me personally, I love that idea of the holistic action. We all have problems. We all have bad days. I'll give you about a minute to bitch and moan and whine and cry. Now what's the solution? Now
Yeah.
what are we going to do about it? Are
Yep.
we going to stay whining, or are we going to do something? You found
Yep.
smart recovery. That's working for you now. What I know of smart recovery also is that there is an element to it that is harm reduction. Like you said, it may not be abstinence. I was never able to control my drinking. I was never able to say, I'm going to have 2 drinks.
Yep.
That's my powerlessness over my alcoholism, over my addiction. I have no power over how much I'm going to drink or what's going to happen when I drink. So
Yep.
for me, I just can't drink. That's not everybody's story. That's not everybody's experience. That's just my experience.
Yeah.
But so this is working for you. You go to church, you use the smart recovery action tools,
Yeah.
you are a hard worker, you're a family man. Good thing you're married, because I tell you what, it sounds like a catch.
I don't know about that, but I'm very, very blessed. My wife has stuck by me. We got married. I was 23, she was 18, and I come from different backgrounds. But yeah, I've dragged her through a lot of shit, you know what I mean? And she's stuck by me, and I'm very, very grateful. She would be the reason I'm alive today, you know what I mean? She stood by me through thick and thin. And one stage I was in a rehab over the other side of the country, and she was still here. And then she came over there to live with me, and her and the girls have visited me in prison when I had my mental breakdown. Actually, they all lived with me in the rehab as well at one time. So that's, well, one of the rehabs I went to was like, you could bring your whole family. Yeah, it was not the best experience, but we were there for about 6 months. But yeah, we love each other. We got together when we were kids. We didn't really have much. We've both been through a lot of painful experiences, and we're just doing our best. We're raising our girls. We take them to karate, and they go to a private school, and we're just trying our hardest. And there's a lot of things that we are still behind other people that may not have been through as much trials, but we try our best day by day, and we want to have a different life for them. We want to be there for their kids, and we want to be able to support them more than we will support it. I'm not saying we had absolutely horrible families, because that's not the case, but I think we can still improve on what we had. My wife and my girls is my big driver. They mean the
That's
world.
wonderful. Yeah,
Yeah,
lucky
thank you.
man.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So you've got your show, the
Yeah.
Long Way Round Show.
Yeah.
And you've also got the Long Way Round Foundation. So if somebody looks you up on YouTube, the Long Way Round Show, what are they going to
Well,
see?
the long way round show, essentially, the last few months, I was sort of like, what can I do next? I didn't want to start another business. I didn't want to be driving around endlessly in the afternoon, going to the tip, going to do quotes, running around like an absolute madman. It's fun and it's exciting, but I've been there, done that, you know what I mean? I want something more. And I was like, my life, I've done a lot of things, and I've been around, and I've had some successes and some failures. And I was like, well, that's the long way around. Essentially, my whole dream, and I think it's slowly starting to happen, is to inspire people that, even though they've been through a rough start or a rocky marriage or all these different things, that they can change. And it's not easy to change. It takes time, it takes effort, but I want to be able to inspire people and uplift people, and that's my goal. I feel like God's given me is the gift of inspiring people, but ability to uplift. It's just a
Okay.
gift of encouragement. I like to encourage people. I love seeing other people succeed, even when I was down in the dumps, worst of the worst. Like when I've seen other people doing something cool, I think a lot of people, they think, oh, they had it easy or blah 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 or whatever. For some reason, just something down deep in me was, I was inspired by other people doing something cool, and I thought, if they can do it, I can do it. I got to work out how to do it. And I love encouraging people. I'm not saying I'm an expert. I'm not saying I know it all. I've got a lot of things to go through. And to be honest, my show is part of my healing journey too. It's that real thing when you find something that you can give back, but you're still receiving. It's just that full circle. Like I remember different times in rehabs when I'd finished the program, but then I was volunteering and helping. By no means was I like the rehab expert, but at that stage I was a little bit further in front, but I was also
Right.
getting help. And I think when you find something that you're passionate about and it inspires you, you've got this like flame now, and it helps you stay on track, because you don't want to use anymore. Because a lot of times, me personally, I don't know about everyone else, but I use because I don't feel good enough. I feel shit. I feel like I'm never going to be okay. And all that pain, sometimes it's too painful, I have to go and have a drink or a drug to ease the pain. I grew up in a good home. My father died when I was 25, and my mum moved on like straight away. From that day, she hasn't really been there for me and my wife and my girls. So that's been a real painful experience, and it's been a real thing, rejection. But like, it was weird because it wasn't like I had shit parents growing up. But
Were
then
you close to her before your father died?
yeah, like, I mean, obviously I was doing the wrong thing and whatever else, but we were always like pretty close. Like mum and dad were together till they died. And like over the last sort of 10 years, well, it's nearly 14 years, 15 years now since he died, but I would try to reconnect, and we would always just beg her to come and see us and different things like that. And then we would go see her, and we would invite her like to camping or invite her to different things. And all we really wanted was to spend time with just her alone. Like sometimes she would come up with a new husband. I liked the husband as well. He's not a bad guy, but sometimes we just wanted that quality one-on-one time, and that was really not available. And over time, we lowered our expectations. But you'd hope and you'd think for someone, a grandma, they'd want to come and see the kids and sleep in the kids'
Yeah.
bedroom, and yeah, all that sort of stuff. Like you see some grandparents and they crawling over broken glass to spend time with their grandchildren.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard when you see that stuff at the school drop off pickup and all that, but it's not been our reality, and but it is
Yeah.
what it is. I don't want to seem like I'm whinging about it because I don't. I mean, I care, but I don't care now. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
healing. I'm trying to heal. Like it's painful, but it's my reality. I've In the last sort of 6 months, she let us down again, and I sent her an email. I blocked the number, deleted the number,
Wow.
and I said, "Yeah." But you know what? Since that day, I felt so free. You know what I mean? It's like the cord's been cut. Like I just feel this real. I don't have to. I can grieve now. It's like I can move on. And it's been because it's almost like I lost both parents in the accident, but one was still living. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm sure other people can relate. Like I still love her, I still miss her, I wish her all the best. I hope she is happy and whatever else, but I don't think she is. She's in a codependent relationship that's all intertwined with lying and all these different things, and I couldn't be part of it anymore. I didn't want to be a part of it. I didn't want to have anything to do with that stuff. I wanted to be set free, and since I've blocked the number and all that, I felt really good. I still miss her, I still love her, but now I don't have any contact, and it's just something's lifted. It's a real powerful thing.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Mm.
take control. We say the serenity prayer. Give me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change,
Yep.
the courage to change things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And sometimes it's like that. You have to protect yourself and your wife and your children,
Yeah.
and that has to be your priority. Listen, I don't judge nothing. If you guys make up tomorrow, I'll be just happy for you. If you never make up again, will understand and wish everybody happiness and joy. That's what I
Yeah.
want for everybody. And I
Yeah.
get what you say about the gift of encouragement. Like my superpower is taking complex ideas and making them simple. I only know this because of the feedback I get from other people. And it brings me great joy to be of service to others. And if you do look at any of the literature for Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, stuff like that, it tells you the best way to deal with your own problems and cravings and things like that is to go help somebody else. Go be
Yeah.
of service. Step out of yourself when those times that you're craving, when you've got that mental obsession, you want to drink, you want to use, you want to woe is me about it. No, get up, go do something for somebody else, and you will automatically feel better and want to keep that. There's this thing where they talk about the two wolves, right? Which wolf do you feed?
Yeah.
The wolf that lives is the one that you feed. So you can
Yeah.
feed the wolf that is woe is me. You can feed your demon
100%.
and
Yeah.
with misery and resentment and anger and fear, or you can starve that demon and feed your higher greater self with joy and service and love and compassion and forgiveness and lead with those things and have this great wonderful beautiful life.
Part of my, healing process and obviously watching different things and looking at different, literature or ideas and that. But there's this one guy I come across, Dr. James Dotty, I think his name is. He's a neurosurgeon. His whole thing is about manifesting, and it's so true. And it's exactly what you just said. Like, you're either manifesting bad stuff or manifesting good stuff, whether you know it or not. Like, so if you're, just walking down the road, kicking rocks, no one's ever going to love me. Nothing's good going to happen. No one's going to employ me. Life's going to be shit, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, your life is going to be shit because,
Right.
you're prophesying it over yourself, whether you know it or not. You start doing the right thing and, I just got to work hard and I can do one day at a time, keep moving forward, maybe go for a walk or do some push ups or, you know what I mean? Reach out to someone. Like, it doesn't have to be a massive, big thing straight away, but you start building up that little bit of momentum and doing some positive things. And I'm not saying it's easy, but I think sometimes people get overwhelmed with how far they got to go. And if you concentrate on the big, big, big picture, it's too overwhelming. But if you just concentrate on today, like, what can I do today? How can I change? And it might just be staying off your phone for an hour, or it might be going for a walk for 10 minutes. Like, it might just be writing 2 sentences about what you love about yourself. And then tomorrow you might write 3 sentences and go for a 15-minute walk. You just got to start, I think is pretty important.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. There's an old joke. How do you eat an elephant? One
Yeah.
bite at a time. So is there anything else that you would like to tell the audience? Any words of wisdom that you'd like to share?
If anyone's interested in what we're doing, please feel free to join the Facebook group. And if stories of inspiration and overcoming, if that's something you're into, we've got a really great guest coming up. She's got a really powerful story, and that's Starve the Demon, Jenna. So that's really cool. But yeah, guys, look, it's one day at a time. You know, you just got to keep moving forward, keep doing what you're doing. But yeah, if you're negative and woe is me, nothing's good going to happen. But yeah, just keep moving, keep working, and things will happen. Yep.
If my audience wanted to look you up and help out your foundation, where would they go to do that?
Yeah, no worries. So, well, look, I mean, like Daniel Cook's my name, so I'm on Facebook. I'm always posting stuff on there. Also, obviously, the YouTube channel, The Long Way Round Show. So, look, the charity work, it's all just real early stages. We've got a campaign going. We need to get the first $1,000 to $2,000 to register for a charity, get the website up, get some of them initial things happening, and then we'll be able to go for bigger grants and get some stuff happening. But it's all just a process. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. I'm always uploading positive stuff. If that's your vibe, then have a look. And if you don't like it, well, that's cool too. All the best. You know what I mean?
That's right. And you can find him also. We're linked. We're Facebook friends. You can, I don't know, TikTok, Instagram. We're probably connected everywhere, but I'm going to put in the description his links so you guys can donate to his foundation and watch his show on YouTube. And this is just another example of recovery by any means necessary. He does smart recovery. He's got a heck of a story. He's the real deal. He's one of us, y'all. So just keep starving that demon. Love everybody. Let God sort them out. Stay strong. Thanks, Daniel.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me, Jenna. Have a great rest of
Bye.
your
All
night.
right.
Bye bye.